I just want to point out, you called me out for my socks last week.
Yeah.
Talking about they're just dry fits and shit. So I don't know if the camera could see this, but we have some nice.
You might want to
DGen ape.
Well, you got to bring that closer to you. Actually,
what do I got to bring? This closer to me?
Yeah.
We got some DGen ape socks on. So
okay. Those are fire. Those are fire.
Yeah, dripped out.
Yeah.
Don't ever question me again.
Well, I challenge you to be better. That's what good friends do.
Listen,
I challenge you to be better, and you were better. So congrats.
I'm better every day.
So you're lucky you have me.
Every day I get better.
What would you do without me? But are you? I do want to know. Are you inspired by Fabio, like with the hair?
No. What the fuck?
What do you mean?
Why would I be inspired by him?
Why not? I think you're the.
I've never even paid attention to him to be inspired by him.
I think you're the Indian Fabio.
I think that's.
I might change your contact on my phone to the Indian Fabio.
Nah. I think that's the.
No, it's not something.
Maybe you pay attention to Fabio, like
no.
Was that like a role model for you growing up or something like that?
No, I don't. I don't think long hair was possible for me. I would have had an afro.
Oh,
yeah,
word.
I did have an afro as a child.
No, you did not.
What do you mean?
You with an afro?
Yeah,
that sounds crazy.
I'll put a photo up.
We need a photo
right
here.
I have curly hair. I can't grow out long hair like that.
When are you gonna grow out your hair then?
I have done it.
Let's get a different look going on Marc this 2024. What do y'all want to see? An afro comeback. Maybe you get some facial hair.
Can't do that. Can't grow
Maybe
that.
you get a tattoo like on your arm or something.
Some barbed wire.
Barbed wire would be crazy.
Hey, that was hot in '96. It was. What do you mean? That was.
You were like 4 in '96.
Yeah.
What the fuck did you know about being hot?
It was a vibe back then. It was the drip was immaculate back then.
You are crazy.
You know what else has been crazy is this week in Web3, huh?
Wow.
That was a great transition. That was immaculate transition.
Hey, how about that Web3?
How about that Web3 now?
So crazy. No, it actually has been kind of. But honestly, like, bro, every day in this shit is wild as fuck. Honestly, a week feels like a month. Months feel like 6 months, a year even. Like, this shit is crazy every day. Yeah. Every single day something is happening.
Yeah, and we started off the week with so Yuga puts out the news that Garga's coming back as CEO of Garga.
Bro, even
wow, I just let me run that back.
Hey, yo.
We started off the week with the news that
bro. Even before that though, didn't we get Yuga acquires Moonbirds? I don't even think we talked about that.
We had that. Crazy.
A little bit of Moonbirds pumping before the announcement. I'm not saying anything, but
some insider,
call. Hey, we can't say that.
Yeah,
the cabal is caballing, and that just means we're back. It got to mean we're back, right? If the cabal is caballing,
I'm not gonna ever say we're back at this point because saying we're back also means that the end is also like. That means the end is possible. I would rather just no.
Marc is a little pessimistic.
I don't want to be back. Yeah. I want to be in the process.
Where do you want to be then?
I want to be in the process of getting.
So
to
we're
back.
just always going to be in the process of getting back.
Yep.
That doesn't sound fun. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Nobody makes money in the process. We've been in the process for the past year. There's been little stuff to make for sure. We need to be back.
Are you saying the process doesn't work because of the 76ers and Joel Embiid?
I mean that too. Yeah. I mean.
The process
let's keep it a buck. They should have made the finals like at least once out of the past 5 years. At least once.
Should we just scrap this whole podcast
and just talk about the 76ers? Yeah. All right. So the process, yeah. We could probably talk about the NBA, but no, I mean, yeah. Wow.
So going back into it. So we have the news that Yuga acquires Moonbirds.
Crazy.
That was that went over like a fart in church, as my mother would say. That didn't go over well.
Okay. I'm with you.
Yeah, you feel that? You can't fart in church. That's a bad break. Okay. Everybody else, like, what the fuck?
For sure.
So yeah, that news didn't go over well. And then it was a few days later, they come out with the news that Garga's back as CEO of Yuga. And that was well received. That was very well received. And so Frank sees that and goes, you know what? I'm going to drop the news at the same time.
Relax.
Listen,
no. We're not about to do this whole Frank was inspired by Yuga. Like,
no.
Hey.
I think it's an opportunity to, at that point, people are talking about, the fact that, like, Daniel as CEO of Yuga, and I'm not gonna say his last name because I'd screw it up. I don't know how to pronounce it. So, but Daniel as CEO of Yuga I'm sure did a lot of incredible things, and I'm not, I don't pay attention to every single thing they do and everything like that, but I think there's certain times things don't work. And like when that happens, I think in life in general and business in general, everything like that, you have to pivot. Web 2, Web 3, doesn't matter what it is.
100%.
Sometimes you got to pivot. And so
pivots are honestly just faster in Web 3. That's what it is. And that's why it feels kind of like, oh my God, like this happened here, because like a pivot that might be like 2 years, like to a company fucking a decade ago or something like that, is like 2 months, 3 months in Web 3. Like, you know what I'm saying? I really do think that like the difference is pretty wild.
Yeah, and I mean the other reality of it is when it happens in Web 2 businesses, no one cares. So like it's something that we talk about in Web 3 because again, there's like one we talk about everything. So like any little thing that happens is we talk about it. It dominates the timeline for a long period of time, and I think so. Again, Yuga started the conversation, with everything with Gargo coming back as CEO. I think as a result, Frank was like, hey, what better time than now? People are already talking about transitions. It happens. It is what it is. Why don't I just talk about the transition? People have been wondering why I've been quiet over the last, however many months. Let me just explain kind of what's been going on behind the scenes. He comes out with his tweet announcing pretty much that Kevin is no longer on the team. And then announces kind of everything else that's been going on. And we can put the tweet. Honestly, it's a long tweet. We won't read off the whole thing, but I'll put the tweet here so people can read it if they haven't seen it. And I think the way that I look at that is, I've always gotten along really, really well with Kevin. I think he's an incredibly smart dude. I think there are things that he brought to DegGods that were incredibly valuable to the growth of DegGods and everything like that. And I think with everything in life, there's some things are meant to be for a certain time period. Some things are meant to be for a longer time period. Some things are meant to be for, ever, right? And I think with Kevin, he was meant to be part of that process with DegGods. And it worked for a solid period of time. And then I think from there you have to transition to what is that next chapter. And so I know whatever Kevin does next, he's going to kill it. He's a great guy. He's incredibly smart. He'll do great things. And then I think with DegGods, I think we now know more than ever what the direction of DegGods is. And I think the community was excited to kind of see we're going back to more of a degeneracy kind of vibe, which we have all really enjoyed from kind of day one. And so I think it was a win-win for everybody involved. I mean, that's the way I perceived it. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, definitely would agree. I think he was brought in, for that moment in time, and there's definitely aspects where, obviously he had an impact, and, just in getting them right and, internal structuring and all that sort of thing. I think a lot of it on just moving forward is, people are excited about Frank. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was the thing, even while the run-up was going and everything of the sort. It's like, you love DegGods, the community that we've made and everything like that. But, part of it is, too, that we like seeing Frank and we like seeing him cook. And we like, he's a genius when it comes to, growth marketing and when it comes to, being able to kind of do this community building. And I think he's really, really good at understanding and kind of keeping a pulse on the space and NFT projects. And I don't know. I think it's just it's very bullish that it's more like he's back in the lead, full control of the ship, if you would. And we all find roles underneath it, whether you're a community member, whether you're working with the team or whatever. And I think it's a start in the right direction for sure of the comeback of 2024.
100%.
So yeah, I mean, and to your point with the degeneracy, there is an aspect where, for better or for worse, DegGods started definitely getting a little too corporate, I think, last year. And I don't think that's a bad thing per se. But, even I was talking with Frank last night and we were just riffing whatever. And I had said this thing to him where, I feel like a lot of people came into DegGods because it's almost like, because of the degeneracy, and it's almost like anti-corporate vibes. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of just like the way that, you know, you've been communicated with, the way that they operate, the way that just like, you know, the team and the brand kind of just carries itself. It's almost like this like independent, a little bit anti-establishment, anti-corporate, that sort of thing. And so to see that like get a little bit closer to that last year, I think is, you know, definitely goes into the sentiment a little bit. And like I said, obviously you want to work with corporations. Obviously you want to work with like big partners and sponsors where it makes sense and everything of the sort. It's not to say anything about that. But more so just like from a culture perspective of like when you are building out a culture of an NFT project, probably not necessarily like the route that you want to like go too deep in, right? Because I think a part of just like even just Web3 and crypto overall is us getting a lot away from these kind of established things that we've been used to for however long that we've, you know, been interacting with the world. And I think that's a very exciting part of this next chapter of DegGods for sure.
And I think the thing that a lot of people took away from it is that there's a lot going on behind the scenes, right? And I think there's certain times that, you know, we all want to have kind of a glimpse behind the curtain of like what's going on, what conversations are happening, what's being done today, everything like that, right? But the reality of it is certain announcements need to be made when the time is right and when you kind of have that direction figured out and everything like that. And so, again, going back into, you know, when season 3 was launched in August 9th, right? It's like the reality of it is when you have something like that that does not go over well, I don't expect
major changes got to happen.
Right, and I don't expect you to know that answer overnight of like what
you're
you
not
going to
know it on August 10th.
Right,
for sure.
Because it's like obviously when something like that happens, you need to take time to reflect, take time to hear the voice from the community of what's going on, what everybody's feedback is, everything like that, and then go, okay, now we know how people are feeling and everything like that. We're well aware. I think probably by, you know, probably August 11th, they had it probably pretty figured out of like, this is how the community feels. Okay, we get that, right?
Yeah.
But again, the solution takes more time than that. The question had to be asked of where is this going from here? How do we pivot from here? But again, the answer takes more time to actually, you know,
more time
to figure that out and to go from there. I think one of the things that I've always loved about the team, and I know you have too, is that they are a team that takes a lot of what's happening in the moment and determines how do we need to take, you know, these new things that are happening in Web3, these new kind of way the way the space is transitioning, and figure out how do we need to move within that, and then here are some new things that are happening. How do we get involved with that? And so again, I think the way that we've seen like some of the announcements come out with, with BTC DegGods over the last few days, which we'll get into that in a second, but like, some of the things with that, some of the things with Wormhole, and kind of how that's going to allow, you know, Frank has kind of teased some different things that's going to be, you know, what's going to be capable with that, right? And so again, it's taking how the space transitions, taking in that information, taking in the feedback from the community, and not even just from the community, but from the overall NFT community in general, not just holders, but taking in the overall feelings of the space, and then figuring out from there, where do you need to go? How do you pivot? Where do you transition to? And again, all of that takes a lot of time. And so I think that the messaging and kind of the thing that had to happen is you need to have that silent period at times to really figure out, how do I move forward? Because everybody wants Frank on the timeline nonstop every day, the fun tweets. We all love the shit. Like it doesn't matter. You could be a DeGod hater. You know you love it when Frank's on the timeline. It's just that
energy.
Much more, yeah,
it's energy.
It's that much more fun. But the reality of it is, if you're talking when you don't know where you're going next, that's not like, then at that point, those tweets aren't benefiting the community. They're not benefiting us at that point. Those are time periods where you do need to take, hey, don't speak when you don't know the answer yet. Like, take your time, figure out what the answer is, start building towards that, and then when the time is ready, unleash again. Yeah. And so that's the way I look at it. And again, I know those periods of time where there's not a lot of communication going on, not the most fun, but they're necessary, you know, and sometimes the hardest things in life are the most, you know, most necessary.
It's also like, bro, this was the first time that he's ever taken a break, like from the social media aspect, not even a break, right? Like from this, like the social media, being public every single day, like out here, face of DegGods, connecting with the community, connecting with the outer community, joining spaces. Like we've all seen this Frank for X amount of time, right? And it's like, clearly when something like season 3 happens, and it's like, yo, that's not just a season 3 thing. It's like a culmination of probably how the year has operated from a business standpoint, how people have executed on things, where the team is at, all of these things that just get taken, like, that you take into account. And it's almost like with some of these announcements, I get that there's almost like a partial just like hope that you hope the community kind of infers a little bit. But for the people that aren't inferring anything on the announcement itself, it's like, do you think that he would just go silent for 5 months if some like real shit wasn't going on behind the scenes? And there's an aspect of that too, where it's like, we know Frank and how he can get in spaces and how he can get on the timeline and stuff. Like, my boy has definitely leaked some things beforehand. He's definitely had some times where he said something in a space and people have held him like, oh, what's happening with that? Like, I thought you were doing that initiative. And really, like, bro was just trying to like ideate in a space, get some public opinion, and like figure out if it's actually something that people would want to see or if he should do or something like that, right? Like, that's just a little bit into like Frank's mind itself, right? But it's like, if you're going through this, you know, what if he does go on a space in October and accidentally leak something that he shouldn't have been leaking, and it now messes things over business-wise or whatever is going behind the scene or anything, and there's actually some real implications and not just 10 degens that are like, yo, Frank, you said you were going to do this and you're not doing this anymore. What's up? Right? Now there's real implications, and it's like there is some like real shit. As much as we're all participating in this space, like, a lot of these people that are founders, builders, and all that sort of thing are going through things that probably, like, one, if you're just participating in this space to a degree of like buying and selling NFTs and like trading and being a part of communities, like, you're probably not going to have the fullest of insight to it. And partially is like, you know, as an industry, we could probably get into more of an insight of like what those behind the scenes type of things are in a way that you can actually communicate it. But like, to this point, it's like still figuring all that out, right? And so for those like detractors that are like, oh, but we were left in the dark, why didn't we know about it earlier and all this sort of thing? It's like, I mean, what? Like, the day it happens, he's going to hit the Discord and be like, yo, so this happened. Now what? Right? It's like, there is a way to package it. There is a way to share it with the community. There is a way of like needing to get other things in line internally with the rest of the team and get everybody bought in on the same page before you bring this out to the community. It's like, hey, listen, this is what's going on. This is what's been going on. But today, where we stand today, we're in a better place than we've been in the last like 6 to 8 months. And that should get you excited. Right. Yep. And I think that's just like the main thing that we get into sometimes, where like people that are community holders, it's like, we get it. You want the internal, like, you want to be in the know all the time, but it's like, this is also being in the know when that announcement happens. You know what I'm saying? Because there's things that you can't leak. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's actual like business and people's livelihoods behind some of this stuff. And these people literally spend 24 hours in this space. Like, people that are builders and like really connecting the dots and making moves in this space and so on, like, are legitimately spending like 24 hours in this space every day to like pump your bags, essentially. You know what I'm saying? Like, however you want to look at it, right? So I don't know. I think there's just like, from a holder standpoint and people that participate in the space, like, there is just a more empathy and grace route that we can take when it comes to some of these things. And when you hear certain announcements and be like, oh, like, damn, I can see why that would have been like a really tough process, instead of being like, damn, Frank, why the fuck didn't you tell us sooner, right? And I think the closer we get to that, the better it is.
I think the other thing that happens too, and this is not just like Web3, this is life in general. The longer you know somebody, the more you can kind of understand, hey, if they're acting this type of way, there's something happening with this, or there's something happening with that, right?
1,000%.
And so when you think about like one of your best friends, if for whatever reason they're not answering one of your texts, you know there's probably something happening of why they can't answer that text in that moment, right? You know they're not probably just simply ignoring you, right?
They're not ghosting you?
Right. So,
I ghost you all the time, Marc.
Please. So I think when it comes to what I'm looking forward to with this time in the space is that, yes, this is the first public L that most people have seen Frank take in Web3, right? Again, people can talk about like the early days of DegGods and everything like that.
It wasn't as public of an L.
Yeah, no,
it was an internal L.
Yeah, honestly, like people just don't care about like the first few months of DegGods anymore. We've been around for 2 years. It is what it is. We got to move past that, right? So this, for a lot of people, was the first public L that DegGods has taken, Frank has taken, right? Now people are kind of seeing, okay, so what happens during that time period, right? He takes this L. He goes kind of quiet on the timeline. He's not really talking a ton. He's not really giving a ton behind the scenes. So then people, you know, you get the crazy ideas of like, is he soft rugging? Is, you know, like all these different things, right? And I do understand where that sentiment comes from because people are unsure at that time. They don't know what to expect. They don't have this deep history with Frank of him taking L's, of knowing how he's going to respond to that, right? What I look forward to now is as we come out of this period of kind of, we'll call it like 6 months of darkness, more or less, as we come out of this time period and we move into the rest of 2024, I think people are now going to go, okay, hey, if Frank is silent on this one subject, maybe there is something going on behind the scenes that he's taking care of, but he does understand what our issues are, everything like that, right? And I think we saw that more and more and more with like the space that Frank did with Leap the other day. There was like 800 some people there that were watching that. I think there was like 10K overall that listened to it. And Leap was asking really tough questions. I give him a lot of credit. He was asking some incredibly tough questions. Frank was answering all of them. He was giving behind the scenes on a lot of the different stuff. And again, what people are going to go from here is they're now going to understand as we move forward. Again, yes, there might be periods of time where Frank doesn't talk about certain things. There might be reasons why that is happening. And I think people will have a deeper understanding of that now when, again, previous to this, we hadn't really seen Frank take a big L, a big public L. He's got a bigger platform now than he's ever had before. Yeah. So we've seen he took an L, the team took an L. They regrouped, they reformatted, they refocused on what they need to do, and now we're moving forward into the next period. Now, again, does that mean that, like, you know, automatically this next period is going to be a huge success? No, of course not. No. They have to keep iterating on these things. Yeah, they have to keep learning, they have to keep growing and everything like that. But the one thing that I think people at this point can kind of rest assured on is the team is not going to give up. So if you were wondering that, if you were debating that, everything like that, and again, I'm not shaming anybody who was wondering that. Again, it was a big fucking L. The equivalent would be in like a UFC fight of like getting kicked in the face and you were out cold. I mean, we got rocked in August, okay? I think
sometimes you got to get punched in the face.
Sometimes
it is what it is. Yeah. That's life.
Insert that meme of the guy coming out of the coffin. You know, you know what meme I'm talking about? Yeah, we're throwing that in there. But regardless,
that was crazy.
People are starting to see the kind of coming out of that phase.
Yeah,
we'll see where we go from here. But again, I think people can understand moving forward. Team's never given up. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I mean, if I could like sum it down to one sentence, it's literally like DegGods are resilient, and I think that has been something that has carried through since the beginning, even though, you know, obviously it wasn't as public, whatever, there was still a certain level of resiliency and just like, bro, Frank is just not giving up on this. Like he just like refuses to give up on this, regardless of like what churn we've had. We've seen, you know, we've even seen people prior to Kevin, like people that were a part of the core team, we've seen them leave, you know? And honestly, I think it's a more bullish case than it is bearish case from the sentiment that like, these are companies and people did not sign up to be a part of these companies forever, right? Frank may have signed that dotted line with himself, like I'm going to be a part of DegGods forever. But as far as the other people that are coming on board or like even other like co-founders, core team members, whatever, like to me, it's just like you don't just like sign your life away to be a part of a fucking NFT project forever. You know what I'm saying? And I think part of that is like when NFTs were first coming up and minting, like people just like felt like that automatically, like this team is just here and like that's it, and if you leave you rugged and like fuck you, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just that's not the case. Even with the Yuga like changing of CEOs and like you bringing in different personnel and that sort of thing, it's like again with the times and just what makes more sense from a culture fit, amazing. But I also think that this churn and like other people being able to come in and have an impact and continue to just have like a really big brand out there, whatever that looks like for you as an NFT project, right? That's the important part, is if it, like you can maintain that and keep it moving, even if it's like you have some people on the team that are going to come and you're going to have the churn and you're going to bring in new people and you're going to keep that, you're going to keep that sustainable and you're going to keep it going, right? And that's just, that's just business like at that point, like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
And I think the other thing people have to keep in mind, too, is culture is bigger than one person. And I think that's the thing that people have to remind themselves is, like, you put it into sports terms. Look at, like, the Lakers. Look at the Yankees. Like, they are two of the most dominant teams of all time in their respective sports, right? And over time, the people that have been involved in those teams have changed. Ownership has changed. The, GMs and managers and everything like that, the players, everything has changed over time.
But you associate those teams with winning.
Right, and the culture has maintained. And I think that's the thing that people have to remind themselves is that culture is something that should, in theory, never change, right? And if it does start to change, you have to go back to what got you there in the first place, what people have always loved about it, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of, again, the different roles that everybody plays, again, that is going to change. That is the reality of it. It is what it is. And again, sometimes that's necessary. And so, we have to keep all of this stuff in mind. The thing I always know is that, the team gives a shit. They're working on the coolest things. And again, I think everybody, like when we say Frank, I think sometimes people think that we're only talking about Frank. We're not. We're talking about the whole team overall, right? Like there are so many killers on that team. And again, some people have left to go and do other cool things. ZK has gone on to do a lot of really cool things. We've seen other people that have gone on to do other really cool things. And it's, again, that's part of it. You build a culture of people of success, of people, coming up with cool ideas, people innovating, everything like that. And then, yes, some people are going to leave from there and go do their own thing. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Bro, the dude that fucking drew our art is out there making music. Like, imagine he goes crazy in music like Johnny.
Yeah.
Like, imagine he fucking becomes this big ass star and it's just like, yeah, that dude drew my DGod.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be nuts.
Yeah.
That'd be absolutely nuts. But to your point, it's like doing dope stuff out here and just like, like I think we've had actually a lot of incredible stories of people being DGods and like going and either being successful within DGods still or then being successful like outside of DGods, right? Like Scum is a perfect example of that, right? Like My Slimes is one of the greatest like one-of-one PFP art on any blockchain. I don't care what the fuck you're talking about. Like there's no way you look at Scum art and it's like, nah, this shit is whatever. Nah, hit fire art. You know what I'm saying? And I think with that, it's, it's important to have those people because it's like you really do have killers that are coming through, being on the team for a bit, going out, and they're bigger than even what they were with DGods. And I think that's dope as fuck.
100%. So I think we should go over some of the announcements that came out this week. We had, I think one of the first ones was Sir Candy Apple released last night, the DGods 1.1. And so he basically created a Google Drive of all the different dead gods, and he took out some of the different traits that people have kind of been, talking about negatively for a while, different traits that people just weren't a gigantic fan of. What was it?
I mean, they just cleaned it up, right? They took the sticks out.
Stick out of the hat is gone.
They took a lot of that out. Dead Gods remastered, and man, so that's funny because it's like I was with Frank while he was having that conversation with Candy Apple of just like Frank is just like, bro, just like upload this shit to a Google Drive. And Candy's Apple like, what the fuck? Like, shouldn't we like figure out how to update this and like all this sort of shit? And to me, it's just like that energy of putting it on a Google Drive is like the degenerate DGod shit that like got us here. And like just to be in that kind of creative energy of just like, bro, fucking full send this shit. Like, give them Dead Gods Remastered. If they fuck with it so much, like, we'll figure out how to upload it on chain. But, like, just give them the art. Like, let's see this blast on the timeline. And, like, let's get some, like, let's just send them in up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the vibes. And I think that was fun. Like, it was just fun to see.
100%. And I want to piggyback off what you said there, too, because that is the culture of what we love. Like, sometimes I think, again, when you say we have an announcement coming on Friday, right? We all know anytime somebody says like, we need to talk or like we got an announcement or whatever, dude, your ideas start going in your head of like, bro, what is this, right? Are they about to drop an atom bomb on me?
You guys trap themselves with that a little bit too because it's like they've done so much dope stuff that it's like, oh, if we have an announcement now, like honestly, I think Leap had mentioned it on his space. There was like a specific like thing that he had mentioned on his space where Leap was talking about how he didn't go to the bonfire in LA because he thought season 3 was dropping that night. And like nowhere did Frank say season 3 was dropping that night, but he did say something was coming tonight. And it ended up being that like Facebook website or whatever, right? And like Leap was just like, I love that website, and I absolutely think that's one of the best websites that ever came in crypto. But when it dropped that night, I was fucking pissed because I thought season 3 was coming out. I'm like, damn, like DegGods just set themselves up for that, right? Like they've just fucking delivered to a sense that it's like now if you're like, we need to talk or we have an announcement, you're like, bro, they're about to fucking give everybody an Apple Vision Pro and sign to Apple or something like that, like some crazy shit.
I would love that.
Hey, be chills. Fucking
yeah.
Get Tim Cook on the line for us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Say we got a proposition.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, be chill. Send me his Calendly. Send me Tim Apple.
If you don't think they have an Apple version of Calendly for the internal, like,
listen,
you're crazy.
Listen, get me on a call. Who called him Tim Apple?
Who called him Tim Apple?
I think that might have been Kanye that called him Tim Apple. I can't remember. Somebody called him Tim Apple. The shit still makes me laugh. But regardless,
Tim Apple is funny as fuck.
Yeah, that's gold. But yeah, I think again, all of this is about, you know, when you the perfect example you bring up of what Leap was talking about. It's like, yeah, if you just put out that website that night, I think people are bullish. They're talking about it.
Yeah, you go crazy about it.
Yeah, but again, it's like when you say to people, we have a big announcement, people will run with that and come up with the craziest ideas ever. And so again, I think to some level, I mean, speculation is what the space is built on. So there's no doubt that it plays an important role. But again, you have to think about how to control speculation, how to control hype, because otherwise, if you give an inch, they'll take a mile. And like again, it's like that phrase comes from something of like, you know, the reality of people are going to build up expectations because they know the team can do really cool things. But again, when you think about big businesses in general, dude, they don't drop like life-changing news on a regular basis because that's just not feasible, right? So, but what they will do is just drop competent, solid, really good news on a regular basis, but they don't hype it up. They just put it out, right? And I think that's the thing, again, that we have to do with crypto and NFTs and everything like that, is not always have so much like huge speculation built into everything. Just drop it. Because again, we saw that how many times in the last bull run where it'd be like, bro, you know what's about to happen? Coinbase about to come out with their own NFT marketplace, and it's going to go crazy. And then everyone, your bags are going to go nuts, right? And then it doesn't happen. Same thing with Jupe. When Jupe came out, everybody was like, your meme coins are going to go nuts the moment Jupe comes out. And it's like, why do we need to say that? There's just no reason for that, because now you start to look at it of like, okay, well, then people are going to over-leverage themselves as a result of that onto meme coins, because they're like, okay, these are all going to blow up the moment that happens. But you're assuming what everybody's going to do with the liquidity that they get. You're assuming a shit ton. So, again, we need to roll ourselves back on that and go, hey, you know what? Jupe put out Jupe. Or Jupiter put out Jupe, and it went over, great in the grand scheme of things. And again, we need to like look at that as a W without necessarily saying this is going to automatically lead to this. And then people get too hyped. They start, I think this meme coin is going to go to 300 million as a result. And then again, we set ourselves up for failure. We set ourselves up to be, depressed, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of that is just like it is like a symbiotic relationship in that way, right? Because there's an aspect of like, obviously people being like, oh, Frank hypes things up too much and like all this sort of stuff, and like didn't have clarity on certain things. And so now it's like your expectations are through the roof. And like, I think Jupe, you mentioning Jupe is kind of a good example of that, because, I think for a lot of it, everybody was like, yo, what's Jupe going to go to? And like, everybody was so hyped about the launch, but like nobody really looked into that underlining thing of that whole like price discovery thing that happened after Jupe happened, where it was just like, They had some sort of like cap limit or something that kind of like hindered like it necessarily going like parabolic or something like that. And like a lot of people didn't read that part of whatever, right? And I think a lot of that is just like, one, it's a communication thing, but two, it's just like, damn, bro, like launches are also so important in this space. Like, because if you do have a messed up launch, it could be bullish or it could be bearish at the same time, depending on like why it messed up. And like just it affects on like how much attention you have like post your launch, right? Because if everybody's all excited and like, you know, if Jupe hit $1 like the day of the airdrop or like $1.50 or whatever, and then maintain that for a couple hours, like we might be talking about Jupe in a different sense today than we are right now. And I'm not saying that like anything is down bad with Jupe or anything. It's definitely a longer term play. Like there's like a lot of great tech that's being happened there, but just from the aspect of attention, there is like people are also like onto what's the next airdrop. Oh, we're getting wormhole. Oh, we're getting this. Oh, we're getting that. Like, where are we at? How are we like making sure that we're in the right communities to get this? How are we making sure we're farming the right things to get certain things? And it's like just looking on to the next, right? And there's that balance of like people always like what's the next play, but as a established like brand or product in the space, being able to sustain and even grab that attention, right? And like DegGods are very much in a position right now where it's like we have to come back and grab that attention if we're being honest. Like we're not where we once were in the sense of like when we were at that peak hype, and it's like, bro, Frank could have like tweeted hi and like would have gotten like whatever 1,000 responses or some crazy like tweet going nuts, right? It's like, no, like have to be a little bit more tactful, and like again that full sending of like let's not do the we need to talk shit and just like we're just gonna keep fucking doing cool shit all year, throwing things at the wall, and like things are gonna stick because we're staying in this creative bag and energy.
100%. And again, like I think sometimes the space gets too enthusiastic about speculation. Again, we've seen that immensely in the last like few weeks with Wormhole, right? Everybody's saying, oh, I bet you Mad Lads are going to get this allotment. I bet DegGods are going to get this. I bet Utes are going to get this.
Thankful you're getting some shit.
Utes is going to get, a bigger allotment because they bridged twice, yada, yada, yada. The reality of it is, you know who doesn't have any control over any of that? Armani and Frank, okay?
Facts.
They don't have any control over that. I can promise you that, okay? You are grossly overestimating what you think they can control on that, okay? They cannot control that. So there's the reality of that. Because if they could control it, they'd give each one of their holders $1 billion, right? Because like what are we?
Because who wouldn't?
Right? Like what are we talking about? So again, the people who are like sitting here right now thinking about what am I going to get out of Wormhole? Here's the reality: whatever you get is more than what you had the day it drops.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like,
be thankful. Some of y'all motherfuckers need to be more thankful in this fucking crypto space with airdrops and the gains that you're making. Like, yeah, that's part of your knowledge, but like, bro, just like.
We're all guilty. We're all guilty of it.
Nah,
like,
I'm grateful every day. I'm not guilty. Fuck
whatever.
that.
Whatever. No, I think in this space,
I'm grateful every day.
In this space, you should be grateful for this friendship.
Look at that. But he's not grateful for this friendship.
That's unbelievable.
That's crazy.
That's unbelievable.
That's crazy.
You haven't told me you're grateful for this.
You could have started on just like, you know what? I'm grateful for your friendship.
Okay, I'm going to start first. I'm grateful for your friendship.
I don't want no weak shit now.
Okay, listen.
Fuck out of here.
Listen. I think there's multitude of times that everybody goes on the timeline and you go on the timeline, you see somebody talking about, I think I'm going to get 5K per DegGod or per Ute or whatever. And as a result, you set your expectations at that, right? The issue with that is if you get 4,800, does that mean that wasn't a W? No, it was. But again, when people set that expectation of like, oh, I think I'm going to get 10K. Okay, what? So if you get 8, are you not happy with it? Or if you get 2K, are you not happy with it? If somebody walked up to you today and just gave you $2,000, you'd be jacked up about it.
100%.
But again, we set our expectations sometimes in this space too high. We speculate on things that we know nothing about, how they're going to roll out the token, anything like that. People come up with these random ass metrics being like, this is what I think is going to happen, blah, 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 blah. This is how much I think each person's going to get because of this. It's like, bro, you have no clue.
Bro, they be pulling these numbers out of the fucking
clouds.
Like, just like, oh, 5,000. All right, grab that. Grab 7,000. All right, so now DegGods are gonna get 7,000. Utes are gonna get 5,000, and you should absolutely believe me because sources trust me. Like, like, bro, and it's just like, I don't know. I don't like the way that it gets like other people hyped up because it's like it's one thing for one person to do it, but then I feel like people just be getting hyped up like, oh, why do y'all deserve more and why this? And it's like, bro, you're like making your blood boil over a fake argument. Like,
right? Just
like put the phone down and just like walk to your kitchen, walk back. I guarantee you don't even want to respond to a tweet. Like,
and
keep it moving.
And then some people will go, well, why does like why do I not get a drop for this one project that I have? And they'll get mad at their founder for that. And it's like, brother, their founder is not trying. Like, what are we talking about? Like, yeah, if you could get all of your whole, you know what? If I could get all my friends, a Lamborghini, I would love to, or a 2001 gently used Honda Civic.
Okay,
those are the supply shop.
Is always shilling his bags.
It's a beautiful car. But the reality.
Did you drive one? Would you drive one right now?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay, trade in your car for a 2001.
I'm going to be honest. The 2001 gently used Honda Civic might be actually worth
better than
worth
the car
more than
that
my car ain't that, ain't that special.
All right, so in 2 weeks from now, y'all are going to see. We're going to record content. Marc is going to trade in his. We're not going to say what you have right now. But he's going to trade in that car, and we're going to see you in a 2001 Civic come March. Work for your bags, Marc. Let's see it.
Listen. So the overarching point again, like just be grateful. I think a lot of times, especially as we get into this next bull market, there's going to be like money's going to get to your head. It happens every bull cycle. We've seen it.
Yeah.
Again, just be grateful of everything. Be grateful of things more important than money. Like, again, there are so many things in life that are more important than money. The people that are around you, the house above your head, like the bed you sleep on at night, like again, all these different things. You have to be grateful for all of it. I do think at times with the crypto space, because a lot of it is tied directly to finances, that sometimes we forget that there are more important things in life than money. So just be grateful for all of it. Be grateful you're here today. And I'm grateful we're sitting on this couch. So, Sonny, I'm grateful for our friendship. How about that?
Yeah. Word.
You like that?
Yeah. No,
Wait, this is the part where you say that back.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So, I think aside from people being
grateful,
so
you're just not gonna say it back.
I think there's an aspect
you're not gonna
of
tell me you love me?
People should not feel entitled to anything.
They
shouldn't. They shouldn't feel entitled to a reciprocation of energy. They shouldn't feel entitled to these airdrops. They shouldn't feel entitled to getting free money just because you show up and you tweet GM in the morning and like make some content, whatever. And I love my content creators. I love all of y'all. Like everybody that's on the timeline and shows up every day. There's actually like a special place for all of you because it's like you've actually stuck through this whole thing, and like we've seen a number of people disappear and come back months later, and it's like that's actually the easier route to do, is just disappear, come back months later, than sticking this out and like being here with the people that you are and trying to make things shake. But like you're not entitled to anything, no matter how much work that you put in, no matter how much of your time that you've given, whatever. It's just like if you move without that, and you move without that level of expectation and entitlement, I just think more comes to you. And with that, yeah, Marc, I think you're an incredible person, great friend. I'm grateful to be here on this couch. And yeah, I also think that talking about airdrops is the perfect segue into shilling my boy Malcolm DegGods, who is working and pumping our bags behind the scenes, trying to get every single one of these protocols on the line. And like, hey, yo, what you want to get the DegGods community? We're lit out here. You're getting some fire people if you airdrop DegGods. Actually, you're getting the best people in Web3 if you airdrop us. I'm going to just go say that, and he could clip this and then go share that in his BD calls. Yeah. But like just talking about the team.
BDSM
like,
calls? What'd you say?
No. That's just on your mind.
Oh, I thought I thought that's what I heard.
Yeah. No. If one of you Web3 girls wants to tie up Marc, apparently he's in a BDSM. Like, so I mean, I'm just putting that out there. That might be the alpha. Like, I can see you being into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody clips this part of the conversation, you'll be arrested. Okay? Arrested. This is unbelievable. The disrespect in Web3 just maintains. The disrespect to this guy.
That's crazy. You're the one that brought it up, so clearly, like, man.
I was talking about business.
Just because you want like your headphone thing wrapped around you or something. I don't know, man.
I thought you were talking about that he has most of his meetings in Santa Monica. What? Business development Santa Monica, BDSM.
Bro, that doesn't even make sense.
What do you mean?
No, that doesn't make sense.
He does.
Now you're trying to dox his location? That's crazy, bro.
You know what? Good luck finding him. Big city, okay?
Damn. Like, my guy's just trying to be low key with it. I told him a bunch of times last night. I tweeted about following him when he was sub 1,000 followers. He's sitting at 2K followers right now. I really believe my guy is next up in terms of just like people that like you're just gonna know in the space. But like just talking about the team, man, like we do have a bunch of killers, and I think just being able to give that love to them and just talk about what they do, I think is like mad important. So I'm gonna throw this over to you. I just mentioned someone, so I need you to mention someone and really show me how real of a DeGod you are right now. Because if you don't know anybody, then like
no, I'm gonna give you know who never gets any love on the timeline.
Who gets no love? Tell me who gets no love.
Our boy Leonard.
Hey yo.
Our boy Leonard doesn't get any, because here's the thing. There's a lot of people that behind the scenes are working on shit that they maybe don't have like a social element to, like, in terms of like Leonard's not going to be bull posting on Twitter. Like it's just not him. But 100%. It's like, I feel like almost any time that I've been anywhere with DegGods in the last, year and a half, whatever.
Yeah.
Leonard's there. Leonard's putting in the hours. Like
Leonard's putting in work.
Yeah. So
yo, he's kind of jacked too. He be working out.
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't looked at his biceps recently. Wow. Leonard, you're jacked. Shout out to Leonard being jacked. That I did not expect you to.
Oh man,
is he looking jacked recently? I guess I haven't looked at his body. I don't know. These podcasts take a damn turn every single time.
It's because you're a narcissist. You only look at your own body.
I'm with myself. I'm sorry. I don't objectify Leonard. There it is. There it is. I support Leonard no matter what his body looks like. Man. How about that?
What?
I don't know. I just was trying to figure out where to take it. Anywho. Where are we? Do we have anything else we need to talk about this episode?
No, but there's more team members than just them.
Well, yeah. We're going to go down the whole list?
Yeah, go down the entire list. We got Chill. Chill is dope as fuck because he, right after Mint, when nobody knew what DeGods Rarity was, this man did it and like did it on his own account. And bro, 2 months later, fucking like Frank flew him out to Miami and now he's here. He's our CTO and been our CTO.
The issue with a Frank tweet is you go back to try to find a Frank tweet. Impossible. The man
you could just go to their pages, but like maybe you don't know their Twitters.
Bro, if you think I know everybody's Twitter handle off the top of my head, okay, name them all. Let's see you do it.
Okay, we have OX Chill.
Yep.
We have obviously we have Sir Candy Apple.
Yep.
We have Buddhas. Yep. Design God, by the way.
Design
God.
What's his Twitter handle? Is it exactly that?
Yeah, BUDAZ_.
See, we get underscores and shit. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you, right? I got you. Who else do we got? We have Jerry. What's
his Twitter handle?
I think it's Jerry, and then I think it's like FXUNG. Is that it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Well, it's something like that. But you would find it. I
think it's FENG, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that
regardless,
I know,
I'm saying okay.
I know them.
Listen,
you could find them if you were more tapped in. Like I feel like you'd be able to find their Twitter profiles. I understand.
And this is called bad content when you start trying to figure out what we cannot find this Frank tweet. And I'm gonna be honest, neither of us know all of their direct Twitter handles off the top of our head.
Listen,
it is,
bro. You're not gonna play me right now.
What do you mean?
I could do this right now with you.
But Sonny, here's the thing. We're not doing this. Like, we don't have time, actually. This podcast has to end. So with that, the
team is dope. Like, the team is, like, Jerry was, like, crucial in, like, picking who the big three team was, and he's done a lot of operational things. Like, we have Serious Sam, really goated dev. Obviously, Candy Apple, like, artist. Fucking, I'm glad he's about to start getting some love. Who else am I missing?
See, now we're gonna miss people.
Fucking
D-Stables on top.
He's Aaron. Soul Sorcerer,
D-Stables on top.
Yeah,
facts.
100%. Cooper, who is new, but he's dope. Done a lot of like graphics work and really good like with the design and branding.
The boy
Pasta. Oh my god, bro, it's so crazy because I met Pasta at NFT NYC last year, and like our scavenger hunt team and his scavenger hunt team were kind of like we were like rivals, but like friendly rivals, you know what I'm saying? But like I had gone to like we had gone to the happy hour, and the happy hour was too filled for anybody to be able to get in. So we went another floor upstairs, and they had just like this wide open like bar area, and people were like trying to funnel up. But we were like one of the first people in there. And like we just like sat down, we just had like a dope ass conversation of just like, you know, the space, content, like all this sort of stuff, all while like beautiful New York City is just in the background, like views and like all this sort of stuff. But man, that dude is just dope, and he was just like hustling the entire time while at NYC, like really getting it done. Like I saw him editing videos, I saw him making videos, he was doing the scavenger hunt, he was at every event. Like that man just dope. Just dope, just straight. Like, gotta give him his flowers. Like he's been hustling crazy, and like, bro, his videos are crazy. But honestly, there's like so much more to pasta in terms of just like the value that he brings. Where it's like, it's pasta.
He's got
the sauce.
He's got that sauce.
Literally got the sauce. That's such a fire ad.
It is.
Pasta got the sauce.
With that said, we could go through everybody. We quite literally do not have time. So, again. The big overarching thing on all
Leonard's
this
fire.
is we got a whole team of killers. A lot of people were doing cool shit. DegGods, Utes, the whole nine. And again, so just word of the wise with all of this. There's more going on behind the scenes. With
Shout out to Base Bob.
Your favorite NFT projects. Again, shout out to Base Bob. We're not. Here's the thing. We're going.
Named everybody.
The reason why, but here's the thing. We will have forgot somebody. We haven't said anything about Taylor. Taylor, legend as always. The reason why I don't like going through and naming everybody is because we're gonna forget one person. We're gonna look like dickheads. Okay. So here's what we're doing. We're wrapping up this podcast with that. We will talk to you guys next week. And again, if we forgot you, it's because Frank tweets too much. We couldn't find the whole damn list to make sure we didn't forget anybody.
It's just because Mark didn't want to name all of y'all.
No, it's quite literally we don't have time. So with
blame him.
Yeah,
you know I love y'all. I love y'all. I know all of y'all, and your Twitter handles.
Yeah, that was rough. I don't know if you got half those.
Way more than you.
Oh,
you had
please.
one. You didn't even have one.
What do you mean,
bro? It's OX Chill.
Right, that's the easy one.
That's the one you couldn't find.
What's Leonard's?
A Wolverine.
What the fuck?
Shit. Yeah.
It's Leonard Mainnet.
No, look.
No,
that might actually be Serious Sam.
No, what?
Serious Sam is like Wolf something. Yeah.
Okay, but I didn't say. I said Leonard.
Yeah, Leonard is Leonard Mainnet.
Yeah, so suck it.
So what?
Yeah.
No.
I got Leonard right.
Bro, you are. And the thing is, too.
So, yeah, okay.
You know what the hack is? You know what the hack that you didn't do is? If you would have gone to.
Wait, but also, by the way,
else's-
Sam's is Wolverine Heart.
Yeah. See? I wasn't wrong.
I don't know if that means Wolverine Heart. I don't know if that means Wolf in Heart. I don't know. I don't know.
But
Sam, I'm gonna need.
I have the tweet literally right here, and you want to know why? Because I went to a team member's page, and every team member quoted Frank's tweet. And if you go to their page, it's literally the second tweet down.
Did we forget anybody?
We did not. No, we didn't forget a single person.
There we go.
And it is Jerry X Feng. So you know what? Honestly,
I said,
bro,
you put I said Jerry Feng.
Yeah, but there's an X between it.
Oh, whatever.
And I said X, right?
Yeah, and then you said
Okay,
UNG.
okay,
I said
word.
ENG. So there it is.
Whatever.
We are at the point. This
Whatever.
is terrible. This is terrible
Whatever.
podcasting at this point. That's an episode wrap.
No, but this is DegGods shit, though.
We'll talk to y'all later.
So, inshallah.
See you guys.